Resuming debate, the honourable member for Vancouver Kingsway.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm very pleased to stand on behalf of the constituents of Vancouver Kingsway and my colleagues in the New Democratic Party in support of this motion to commemorate Lunar New Year across this country and the Spring Festival that begins every year in cities across our great land. The Spring Festival is celebrated, of course, by Canadians of Chinese, Vietnamese, and Korean origin in particular, but indeed now by Canadians of many other nationalities across this country. I'd like to focus my remarks tonight, however, on the tremendous contributions of the Chinese community to my riding, my city of Vancouver, my province of British Columbia, and our country. The 43rd Chinatown Spring Festival Parade was held this year in Vancouver, and as in past years was organized in excellent fashion by 6 major organizations in Vancouver: the Chinese Benevolent Association of Vancouver, the Chinese Cultural Centre of Greater Vancouver, the Vancouver Chinatown Merchants Association, Success, the Chinese Freemasons Vancouver branch, and the Shanye Benevolent Association. Now, the Spring Festival New Year Parade celebrates the new year of the lunar calendar and is a festive event for everyone to enjoy. As one of the 3 largest non-commercial annual parades in Vancouver, this parade features the largest assembly of traditional lion dance teams in Canada, with dozens of colorful and energetic lions from various local fraternal and martial arts organizations. The parade features some 70 entries, bringing over 3,000 participants from various community and cultural groups. It's not surprising, Mr. Speaker, that the parade draws over 100,000 spectators across representing every single ethnic group in this country along the route each year, plus many more who see it through TV coverage. So it gives me great opportunity to highlight for this House the incredible contributions of Chinese Canadians to Canada's social, economic, and cultural heritage. I want to start with the Chinese Benevolent Association. This was founded in 1895 by 6 pioneers to provide mutual support and leadership within the Chinese Canadian community. The current CBA president is Mr. Hilbert Yu, who I would like to congratulate for his recent victory. And this group represents the major Chinese associations in Canada, including major clans like the Shanye, the Ma's, the Jiangs, the Kwans, and many others. This group, the CBA, fosters cultural, social, and charitable events of all types, and they work diligently to promote equality and understanding of other cultures. They also help to provide housing and disaster relief. Mr. Speaker, I'd like to highlight the Chinese Cultural Centre, a world-class organization that promotes Asian arts and culture and facilitates exchanges of artists from around the world. They recently hosted the Greater Vancouver Chinese Canadian Artists Invitational Exhibition, which featured world-class Chinese Canadian artists such as Johnson Chow, Winifred Lee, James Tan, and Joyce Tsai, and many others. Mr. Speaker, this was an explosion not of multiculturalism, but of interculturalism and indeed cultural fusion. The chair of the Chinese Cultural Centre is Fred Kwok, who's carrying on the fine tradition of previous chairs. And I also want to mention the International Art Gallery, which is led by the talented team of Catherine and John Chan, who bring artists from all over the world and promote Canadian artists internationally. I must also mention Dr. Jan Walls, a UBC professor who's a leading translator, historian, and cultural icon, and an inspirational leader in multicultural understanding, tolerance, and respect. Mr. Speaker, I want to highlight the Chinese Canadian Military Museum. Just a few weeks ago, in May, they commenced an extraordinary exhibit entitled Rumble in the Jungle, a special exhibition that explores a largely unknown part of Canadian history. This is organized under the leadership of President King Wan. It highlights the work of Force 136. During the final years of World War II, an elite group of Chinese Canadians were secretly trained in guerrilla warfare and jungle survival tactics. Their mission was to get dropped behind Japanese lines and assist with sabotage and intelligence gathering. These soldiers, who included Neil Chan, Raymond Chan, Joe Chong, Charlie Lee, Ronald Lee, Gordon Kwan, Gordon Wong, Tommy Wong, Victor Wong, and Hank Wong, committed absolutely vital service to this country in a very dangerous mission, and theirs is a story of glory and courage. But, Mr. Speaker, this is also a story of racism and intolerance. These soldiers were not able to easily join Canadian regular forces. They were not recognized as Canadian citizens. They were subject to racist property laws. They could not vote in Canadian elections, and they were victims of the racist head tax. Indeed, disgracefully, these soldiers had to hitch a ride back to Canada on their own after risking their lives in some of the most dangerous work done in the war for their country. But this exhibit cannot mask the heroism these soldiers displayed in carrying out their top secret missions in the most difficult and dangerous theatre imaginable, and their families are proud today. Mr. Speaker, I want to mention the Chinese Freemasons, led by Chairman Chuck Chang, one of the first Freemason organizations in Canada. This was started on Vancouver Island in Barkerville in the 1800s. They provided then and provide today fraternal and social support to the Chinese community before the advent of social services by government. They also played an instrumental role in world history. They hosted and funded Dr. Sun Yat-sen, who was in Vancouver at the beginning of the 20th century and who returned to China to help found the Republic of China, bringing an end to imperial rule. Mr. Speaker, I want to mention Success. The CEO of Success is Queenie Chu, who does an outstanding job for this organization, and she follows in a history of talented CEOs and leaders. Tung Chan, who is a figure of national renown, and Maggie Ip, a former city councillor and incredible organizer and community leader. This is one of the most preeminent social NGOs in the country. They assist thousands of immigrants with their settlement needs, ESL, employment, housing, integration into Canadian society. Mr. Speaker, I want to focus on the Chinese seniors of Greater Vancouver under the great leadership of President Ming Zhu. They just celebrated their 11th anniversary and bring seniors from all over Greater Vancouver together for important social and cultural events. In my own riding, I want to highlight what I consider the best Chinese seniors group in Canada, the Renfrew Chinese Seniors. Under the leadership of Mei Zheng and Eddie Tang, over 400 seniors meet quarterly at the Renfrew Community Centre and bring seniors together for recreation, dance, and community connection. Mr. Speaker, I want to mention the business leaders of renown in the Chinese community. We have Tong Lui, a towering figure in BC business who started the London drugs chain. Jack Chow, who started and ran a very successful insurance business. The Wong family, tailors for over 100 years who are still making great made-to-measure suits, the last major tailor shop in Vancouver's Chinatown. David Choi, who founded Royal Pacific Realty. Richard Wong, a powerhouse of energy involved in fostering international trade. And Fei Liang, a pioneer of courage who has made a lifetime of breaking barriers. She emerged out of Chinatown and overcame discrimination on race and gender to become a leading realtor and historian. Mr. Speaker, I want to mention important civic leaders from the Chinese-Canadian community. Raymond Louie, the acting mayor of Vancouver and the first Chinese-Canadian chair of the Federation of Canadian Municipalities, is leading our city in Vancouver and the country today. He's joined on Vancouver City Council by Dr. Carrie Jiang, who works at the UBC School of Psychiatry and is also an excellent leader in my riding of Vancouver Kingsway. They followed in the footsteps of B.C. Lee, George Chow, and Tony Tang, past councillors, and the great member for Vancouver East, who I believe is the only person in Canada of Chinese descent who has been a city councillor, a provincial MLA, a provincial cabinet minister, and also a member of this parliament. And I must mention the very popular Alan Wong, elected 5 straight times to the Vancouver School Board, an incredibly popular politician who has fought for generations of Vancouver students. Mr. Speaker, I want to mention finally the media. We have in this country and in my city of Vancouver and the Lower Mainland a very vibrant and democratic Chinese media. Newspapers like Sing Tao, Ming Pao, Global Chinese Press, Dawa, the Fairchild TV and radio station and Omni Multicultural Channel provide honest reporting, fair coverage, and play a vital role in informing citizens, which is an integral part of our democratic process. Mr. Speaker, the mainstream media in this country could take a lesson from the Chinese media in this country, who lead the way in fair, balanced, diverse coverage. And we owe a debt of gratitude to them all. So, Mr. Speaker, in conclusion, today is a day to commemorate the Spring Festival, but also the contributions of Chinese Canadians across this country, and I'm proud on behalf of the New Democratic Party to salute them here today in this House.